Welcome back to Rank and File Sports, where we are grading every single NFL draft class based on three categories. First of all, we're going to grade based off of whether or not the team drafted the players that fit their needs for next season, as well as the overall talent that they got, just assessing the draft class as a whole. And then finally, the value. Is each player worth where they were drafted at? Were they a steal at that position, or did the team maybe reach a little bit and not get as good a value as they could have if they had traded the pick? And then after that, we're going to go ahead and give them an overall grade. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the video.
My Chicago Bears had needs of defensive tackle, running back, wide receiver, cornerback, and an edge rusher. But there were also a couple other needs with new head coach Ben Johnson, one of those being a tight end. And with the first pick that they had at pick number 10, they took Colston Loveland. I was I thought they were going to take Tyler Warren. I really thought that the versatility Tyler Warren brings was going to be the reason that he ended up being a Bear if he was available. I think Colston Loveland's still going to be pretty good. He was good in college, just like Tyler Warren was, but I thought the injury that Colston Loveland's coming off of, he's coming off of shoulder surgery. I thought that was going to be a little bit of a deterrent and why we were going to go with Tyler Warden. Um, so I guess we'll see how it pans out. If Colston Loveland is not as good as Tyler Warren, then this is going to kind of backfire a little bit. But overall, I'm not too disappointed with it. I just was of the mind that we were going Tyler Warren.
I personally think that Warren is the better tight end. So I think this was a bit of a reach. If you wanted Tyler Warren, 10 was a good spot to pick him. If you wanted Colston Loveland, you could have traded back and gotten him a little bit later. Probably
100%.
somewhere around the late teens or 20, you could have still got Loveland at that point. So, in my opinion, that one's going to be a reach. The second pick, Luther Burden. Uh, Technically speaking, a little bit of a reach, but I think this is a really good spot for him to go. And overall, I mean, it addresses the wide receiver need. Burden was a stud at Missouri, so I think this is a great pick to get Caleb Williams, a weapon out on the edge at wide receiver.
Yeah, I was very happy with this pick. Especially with Keenan Allen leaving, now we have a really young wide receiver core. So Luther Burden is going to be a great addition for Caleb Williams, like you said. Then we went offensive tackle later in the second round, taking Ozzie Trapillo, an offensive tackle from Boston College. Again, a little bit of a reach, and I don't know why we were reaching so much in this draft. Doesn't really meet a need, especially after offensive line was a key thing the Bears went after in free agency. So I'm not 100% on board with this one. He could end up being very good because the guy's also massive. He's 6'8", 316, but it didn't meet a need, and I would really like to, at least this early on in the draft, address more of those needs. They could have got Caleb Johnson here that would have addressed a running back need, and they could have got an edge rusher.
Yeah, they went D tackle with the next pick, though, in the second round, their third second round pick. Shamar Turner, in my opinion, this one was a great pick. Good value here. I think Shamar Turner is going to be a beast on that Bears defensive line. Not necessarily meeting the need of edge, but I think overall it's going to end up being a very beneficial pickup for the Bears.
Yeah, I definitely think he can be good. My only issue with it was that Darius Alexander was still available, and I think he should have gone in the first round. He was first round talent, and I was surprised we didn't take him at any point in the second round. So that's my only issue with that one. But like you said, still incredibly valuable to get him at the end of the second round. Same cannot be said for that fourth round pick in Ruben Hypolite the second. Sorry if I'm botching that name. A linebacker from Maryland. I believe we just extended one of our linebackers. I think TJ Edwards just got extended, and Hypolite was a projected undrafted free agent, and I couldn't tell you why we decided to reach on him of all people in the fourth round. If we were going to reach on someone that was going to be undrafted, I would have liked it to be someone that addressed a need. But this does not address a need and was a huge reach for no reason.
Yeah, that pick really made no sense to me. They did take a need though in the fifth round with Zaw Frazier out of UTSA. Overall, pretty good value here. He was the 110th overall ranked player. Getting him late fifth is pretty solid. Addresses a team need in corner. He might be a depth piece at first, but overall, I think this is a pretty solid draft pickup for the Bears.
Yeah, especially with him being 6'3", he's going to be deadly out in the skies of that Bears secondary. But then we come back to another issue, and that's taking yet another offensive tackle after taking Ozzie Trapillo in the second round in Luke Newman, and he was another projected undrafted free agent. Again, there's got to be reasons behind why you're drafting someone, but why are you reaching so far to take an undrafted free agent in the middle of the sixth round when there's likely still people that were projected to be selected? It just makes no sense to me.
Yeah, he was also only in the Power Four for I think one season. He played most of his games at Holy Cross.
Yes.
So again, really doesn't make a lot of sense. He's going to have to really take some time to adapt to NFL level competition. And then finally, with the seventh round pick, taking Kyle Monangai out of Rutgers. He was a beast in college, powerful runner. So, I mean, it addresses a need of running back, but they really shouldn't have waited until the seventh round to do this. Like you said earlier, Connor, they could have taken Caleb Johnson with one of their second round picks. I think Monangai is going to be okay, but he probably won't turn out to be that, everyday starter for the Bears. So taking a look at addressing the needs, we're going to give them a B. They got most of them done, but in the end, there was a little bit to be desired, especially getting an edge was, something that the Bears didn't end up doing. Talent-wise, it's going to be a B minus. I think Luther Burden definitely helps out this grade. He's a solid pickup. So is Trapilo, Shamar Turner. Those three guys I would say are probably the biggest as far as, talent wise. Obviously, Colston Loveland in the first round. I didn't think a first round pick needed to be mentioned in that. Value wise, it's going to be a B minus though. The Loveland pick, you could have traded back. It was a bit of a reach. And, Shamar Turner, like Connor said, who was the guy who was still available?
Darius Alexander.
Darius Alexander being available still. He definitely should have been picked over Shamar Turner. So value wise, it's going to be a B minus, but still overall, this is going to be a B minus draft for the Bears. Could have gone a little bit better, but overall, it wasn't a terrible draft.
Yeah, I'm definitely just of the mind that I was expecting it to go a lot differently. Just like as it was happening, there were some names where like, why aren't we taking them? Like Mike Green was available in the early second round. If we didn't take him, that would have addressed an edge rusher need. So at this point, I'm just of the mind where I need to trust Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson and hope this team performs to the capabilities that they're able and improve from last year, especially in a loaded NFC North. But a B minus is okay. There were definitely opportunities to get some needs earlier on, but I'm gonna have to live with it.
Yeah, overall, could have been better, but not the worst possible draft class out of Chicago this season. So, thank you guys for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in our next video.